Good evening. Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and this evening we have Nefertiti Gold, an Asian American independent singer-songwriter from the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. And I'm so excited. Oh my God, maybe she may say, she may, she may just hit a note first today. You recognize that my note is not good, so it's evident that I'm not a singer. But we have the best right here, one of the best right now in the business, and she's taken the music by storm. And Nefertiti, welcome to Pathway to Success.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
Tell us about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and how you got started.
Well, my name is Nefertiti Gold, and one of the main questions I usually get when I first tell people my name is Nefertiti, they ask me if it's my real name, and it's legitimately my real name that is on my birth certificate, my driver's license, social security card is my real name. I am from New Jersey. Both of my parents are Haitian. They're directly from Haiti, so I'm first generation US born. And my journey as far as with music started when I was young, but it was always been more of an interest in music. We didn't always necessarily have the means for me to be able to pursue it as a younger child. So I pretty much waited until I was old enough to just kind of get like a part-time job at like a supermarket and just pay for like my own like piano lessons and voice lessons. And then slowly over the years, it just kind of grew into taking a few lessons at a community college. And then once I got my associates from there, I was able to actually transfer to a 4-year school where I auditioned and was able to get into a music program, and it was classical music. So I studied classical music first.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What I like, you funded yourself. You got a job at a supermarket to
Yeah.
fund your own music, to get yourself started. Um, that is so powerful. That is so inspirational.
Thank
How
you.
did you get into producing? But you're also a producer.
Yes. Yes, I am.
You produce your own music as well.
Yes, I do.
Do you produce your own beats also?
Yes. Yes, I produce, mix, and master. So I pretty much take over the entire process.
You're very creative, very gifted, very talented. How would you describe your music, the music that you create? What are some of the things that motivates you?
I definitely believe in emotional expression because sometimes I feel like just from day to day, sometimes it's not always the easiest to express yourself. But I always found that over the course of my life, that no matter what I was feeling or what I was going through, there was always at least one song that you can always find that fits exactly what you're feeling. Whether you're mad, you're angry, you're happy, you're sad, like there's always some type of musical something out there that will always fit the mood. And I feel like there's something very powerful in that you can take something so complex as human emotion and you can capture it within 3 to 4 minutes that just encapsulates everything that you're going through. So that's always been something that really truly fascinated me. And it's just like every time that I feel like, oh, I don't know, am I getting like has I been have I been doing this for too long? But then like I always hear every once in a while I just hear that one song that just brings me back in and just makes me love music so much more, and it just like excites me.
That's good. You have also performed. I was told that you have also performed at the Austin, Texas Southwest Music Festival. What
Yeah,
was
South
that
by
like?
Southwest. That's a pretty big deal. It's one of those things where millions of artists, like literally across the globe, will apply to perform, and not everyone gets selected to perform. So when I was able to achieve that, I feel like that's a really big milestone in an independent artist's career to be able to perform at South by Southwest. And I performed in 2019, which is pretty much the last good year when everything was still open. And I don't know, it was a kind of a surreal moment. And I remember throughout that entire trip, it was one of the first times where I was able to eat, sleep, and breathe music the entire time. Like from the minute we woke up to when we went to sleep. So we would have, because I traveled with a group, we would literally wake up at like 7, 8 a.m. and like we would rehearse at the top of the morning into the afternoon, and then maybe we would break away for lunch or to attend some of the panels that they would have at South by Southwest. And it was just one of those things that just really reassured that this is what I want to do. I want to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and rehearse. Like that doesn't bother me. Like I would rather do that than wake up and clock in for someone else and help them make their millions.
I love that
Yeah,
Nefertiti. I like that. I like that. I really like Nefertiti Gold. I love that. I just love that name. It's
thank
telling me that you
you.
will have the Grammy. You're gonna go. Your
Ooh,
album's gonna go gold, plat. I'm just excited. I'm
yeah.
enjoying this. Is there which are the artists? Is there any particular artists, musical artists? Because you're into R&B vibe with a pop neo soul sound,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yes.
like that. And we have not really heard much of that. I'm not sure if I've ever heard that in mainstream music as yet. Is there any particular artist that have inspired you so far that you admire?
Growing up, it's always been like Whitney Houston, like number one right off the bat. And it's because like she's just one of those artists that has had perfect singing technique. And her singing technique literally inspired the entire generation of singers that came after her. Like she just had the ability to execute a note and it was always pitch perfect. It was always on point. Her breath control was amazing. It was expressive. Aside from Whitney, it's also been Brandy. She's also one of the artists that I really, really love. And her voice has grown really well and matured over the years. And of course, being a Jersey girl, I'd have to mention Lauryn Hill as well. She's one of the first few artists that like I got a chance to see play guitar and also just perform along with Indiari. So this is where the guitars inspiration started from. But as I've grown in music and I slowly started morphing into also producing my own tracks, I can't really say that I have any female producers that I necessarily look up to. To be very honest, the only ones that I would say that I'm really well aware of would be Missy Elliott. But outside of that, it is almost nearly impossible to find a prominent female producer that you would know her name. And then, most importantly, it's almost really impossible to find Black female producers that you would know prominently by name. So it's that journey of discovering female producers to look up to is still kind of developing. So it's an everyday research thing for me.
You're also known as you have a background also in classical singing,
Hmm.
and you have
Yeah.
had a previous experience in performing also in Italian,
Yes.
Latin, French, and German.
Yeah. That
That
was
is that is interesting,
thank
and
you.
that's very interesting. That oh my God, that's really creative, very creative. And also your last EP, it would have all been different. Was released July of 2018. Tell us a little about that and how you decided to just perform. Also, do you speak Italian? Because if you're able to perform music in Italian, Latin, French, and German, that tells me that you're bilingual.
Well, the funny thing about that is I am bilingual because my family's from Haiti, so I do speak Creole. But as far as like speaking like Italian, Latin, French, that was when I was studying classical music in school and I was taught how to read and pronunciate the words, but I couldn't tell you that I could speak it fluently, but I can look at it and be like I can pronounce it and speak it and sing it if need to because I know the rules of how to speak each language as they were taught throughout the semesters. And obviously, for a lot of the song assignments that we were given, we were required to at least translate what we were singing so that we can understand the emotion that should be behind the song. But like outside of those instances, I couldn't say that I'm bilingual in all of them, but I am capable of reading them if it was given to me.
Your EP, I like the title.
Thank you.
It would have all been different. Tell us
Yeah.
about it. What made
That
you tell us about it?
well, that EP was definitely one of the more emotional EPs that I've put together, and it was a very big risk for me because it's kind of like my first real time taking anything that I'm going through or everything that I'm going through and just kind of put it in the music, but then actually release the music. You know, there's been so many instances where I'll write a song to express myself just to get something off my chest, but then it doesn't really go anywhere. So with that EP, actually putting it out there for people to hear my vulnerability, that was a really big deal. And the reasoning behind the title, it would have all been different, was because it's really inspired by my father, who passed away when I was very young. So I felt like a lot of things up until that point would have all been different if he was still with us.
My condolences also
Thank you.
to the past of your father, but also my condolences to the people of the beautiful island of Haiti.
Yeah.
Um, so many, such a tremendous, devastating earthquake that hit that nation, and so many lives have been lost. And so we stand with the people of Haiti, and
Thank you.
we're just praying for that great nation. And on this
Thank you so
platform,
much.
Pathway to Success, whatever we can do, and I would love to say that to all those that's watching us today, give to that nation of Haiti. For those who can come on board, different organizations to help the people there that have been devastated by that earthquake, come on board.
Yes,
But we're going to take a
definitely.
break, and we're going to come back to Nefertiti Gold. I like that,
There you
Nefertiti
go.
Gold. And I think she's gonna explain some more stuff to us. I know that you're regarded as a predominantly acoustic guitar player also, as well
Yes.
as your music. So we're gonna
Yes.
come back with her in the next few minutes.
He came from above. He was my superhero love. He was my superhero love. Moments when I thought I couldn't breathe, he came and set me free from everything that weighed me down. Prisoner to my own heart, he flew and then broke my walls down. And then he showed me love. He was my superhero love. Even when I didn't think that I needed the saving, he came from above. He was my superhero love. He
Pathway to Success. We're interviewing this evening Nefertiti Gold, singer, songwriter, and producer. She's a Haitian American independent singer songwriter. And oh my word, we just heard a sample of her music during the commercial break. Beautiful song. What's the title of that song?
It's called Superhero Love.
Superhero Love. I
Hmm.
like that. But that love must be something special. Must be something overwhelming. Must be
Yes.
something powerful. Tell me something. What strategies do you use to market yourself as an independent artist?
I use the strategy of annoying people to death. And what I mean by that is, I think sometimes a lot of my peers that I see when it comes to promoting their music, they kind of get into their own heads where I guess they feel they might be a little too cool for school to tell people that they have a project coming out. So they'll probably just post something maybe like a week before, and they'll probably do it once or twice and then call it a day. Whereas because I'm still an independent artist and I'm not a household name yet, my main strategy is to constantly keep people aware. I will post on my Instagram posts, you'll see it in my Instagram stories, you'll see it in my Facebook posts, my Facebook stories. I have email blasts that constantly go out. YouTube videos, I will make sure that links are always included in the description. The whole point is to constantly kind of keep it in front of people's faces so that you can catch their attention, because I think we're all well aware that, the average attention span isn't too long. So you really only have like just a couple of seconds to catch someone's attention. And that's only a couple of seconds out of 24 hours of each day. So the strategy, if anything, aside from being annoying, is to also be consistent and just putting it out there like all the time consistently.
Which musical artist would you like to perform? Is there a musical artist that you like to perform with in the future? Whether it be a rapper or which musical
Oh
artist?
man, that's a good question. I
It's a
haven't
good
been asked
question,
that in
huh?
a long time. Yeah, that's a good question. I would honestly say I would definitely love to work with Frank Ocean and Kanye West. I think I think
That's great.
Frank Ocean
Uh,
has some of the best songwriting that I've heard, and then Kanye is production wise just like he's to me, I think he's a genius. When he calls himself a genius, I really do believe it with some of the compositions that he's able to come up with. And I think between the both of them, then that would be like a powerhouse collaboration.
Oh yeah, that's true. That would be great, especially with your type of music that you bring across. So soulful, so beautiful, such a beautiful singing voice. That would be great combination. That would be great.
Thank
Aside from
you.
music, what are some of the other things that you do? Because I know you live, sleep, eat, breathe music. But is there another side to Nefertiti Gold
Well,
that you
I
want to
do
share with
push.
us and our viewers this evening?
Well, I do push my YouTube channel, and even though my YouTube channel is still music based, is predominantly like music tutorials on like music production. I shoot and edit it myself. So I have like this niche interest in videography and photography. So I do that on the side as well. So I'll do photo shoots, I'll do video shoots, predominantly video shoots because I just prefer video, but that is something else that I also toggle with. And I also work as a freelance videographer as well.
Wow, you work as a friend. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. You are so gifted, so talented all around. You do everything for yourself. You write your own music. You create your own beats. Even you have a control of how you would like your videos to be done. Have you ever done any video? Well, we just saw a clipping of a video of your song.
Mhm.
But what else are you working on right now? And what are you doing presently to keep yourself current?
Well, the next project that I am working on is my next EP that is going to be released this fall, and I'm very excited because unlike the last EP that I did, this one is really diving deep into producing my tracks out completely. My last EP is it's an all acoustic EP, so it's mostly just me and guitar, and then for a few tracks, like you'll hear maybe I hired like a bass guitarist and a pianist, but this next project is definitely flexing my ability to do it all from the singing, the songwriting, the arrangement, the mixing, the mastering, and the production, and just kind of creating this environment of sound completely from scratch, just right here in my studio. So that is what I've been working on. And as far as what I'm doing to keep myself current, I try to keep up with a lot of I try to keep up with a lot of things within music technology and what's coming out, what's new, what equipment is being used, what techniques are being used to make music sound more professional so that even though if my brand is still small, I can still musically compete with bigger names that have bigger budgets and bigger studios.
What are some of the what are some of the platforms you'd like to perform on? You have envisioned yourself performing on.
Oh, some platforms. Well, I am from New Jersey, so Webster Hall would be a nice notch on the belt if I could definitely book there. And eventually, I mean, the big stage of it all, Madison Square Garden, that would be absolutely amazing. But like to be very honest with the style of my music, I really don't mind performing some of the smaller venues. If it's just like a really big coffee house kind of thing, like I really do enjoy those type of shows and being able to do those type of shows more frequently because you have a chance to really interact with the audience like right there. You can literally like talk to them, like have a conversation with them, like you've known them all your life, like they're your friends. So I don't mind those venues either.
What advice would you give to the viewers and those aspiring to become successful as you are, and also to become singers, musicians?
The advice that I would give is don't stop because I know for me, it's always been being told like, you're not really done. Do you really think you'll get that far? And it's like you're gonna be fighting a very long uphill battle, and there's a good chance that you're going to be by yourself 90% of the time. So as simple as it is to say don't stop, it's also the hardest thing to do because even over the course of the time that I've been doing this, I've definitely seen a lot of fellow artists that I thought were immensely talented, if anything more talented than myself. I just see them kind of drop out and give up, and it's like they have such a skill and such a talent, but they allow the world to discourage them from their own talents.
So, what you're saying is that people must be focused on their goals, their dreams.
Yes,
How
you
do
you have to
you
want it.
how do you overcome the critics, people who the naysayers, persons who will make snideish remarks, persons who will speak negative about your music and what you're trying to do? How you overcome that for our viewers that's watching? Because you said something that you have known of other artists, even
Yes.
that was even more gifted than you, but they've given up because of critics. What would you have to say to motivate those that are watching us this evening on this platform?
I would
How to
say
overcome?
you have to almost create your own bubble and become you have to create your own bubble and almost become a little bit selfish. You can't help others if you haven't learned to help yourself. So you do have to create your own little bubble, become a little bit selfish and focus. Because if you see behind me, like this is my studio, this is where I work, but this was created over time, and this is how I've created my bubble. And I do that because it allows me to come in here to work and to focus. And you shut the door, nothing else matters unless the work is done in here first. And again, that's always harder to do than it is to say, because it's so easy to go on your phone and you see other people being more successful, and then you'll see other people saying to you that you'll never be successful, and you just have to realize that if it was easy, everybody would do it. So you just, you almost have to become a little bit psychotic with it and just like put your head down and just work and just keep working. Like it will come, you know. uh I watched this video once that said that almost anybody who treats anything as a hobby is never successful. But if you are all in, you are pretty much guaranteed success. It may not be the type of success you think you should have, but you are guaranteed success and it will come if you are all in.
I like that. And you're on the pathway to success. I like it. I really love your studio. It's very colorful. It's like a, is that a gold background? Is that a
Well,
book? The
these are like
colors,
string lights that I got off of like Amazon for like 15 bucks. So I just
really?
kind of hang them on the wall and it's like a nice little accent touch. And late at night when I have them on, it's easier on my eyes as well. So it has like a double purpose. Like it looks nice when it's on and it looks really good for video. And then it's also just easier on the eyes as well when I'm working in front of the screens.
Very creative, very innovative, and very inspirational. Nefertiti Gold, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Ooh, the next 5 years. Wow.
Or the next few months from now into next year?
In the next year, okay, I can answer that. In the next year, obviously my EP will have dropped by then, so I do plan to be pushing that as hard as possible. And depending on how things are looking, I'm hoping to be able to book more shows just in person and just kind of go out there, perform, and be amongst the people. Of course, you know, based off of health regulations, we'll see how that goes. And I'm hoping within the next year to continue the path of securing some more brand deals and more sponsorships and align myself with opportunities that'll allow me to continue what I'm doing, continue spreading my message, continue growing and learning. And as I grow and as I learn, I also feel that it's important to share that with people, which is what I try to do with my YouTube channel, with posting up tutorials, because it shouldn't only be just, you know, white men that are constantly teaching music production. It should be also women. It should be also women of color. So as I learn and as I grow, I also want to give. So that's going to be part of the plan for the next year coming as well.
You have your most recent release, Oh Girl, is completely self-produced, mixed, and mastered.
Yes.
It has made its appearance on various Spotify independent playlists and has been extremely well received.
Yes, it has.
Um, what inspired you to really the release Whole Girl? What were you thinking of? Were you just thinking about yourself? I am that girl. What's it?
Well, the inspiration behind it was that I've been looking for people to work with for a long time to get that song produced the way that I've always envisioned it to sound. And I've gone through different producers and nothing's ever really come of it. I've come across a lot of flakiness. And so a part of the journey of learning how to produce was also learning how to put that song together in a way that made sense in my head, even though I didn't have the skill sets to do it yet. So I had to actually put it on the back burner for a little bit, take some time out, take some classes, go to school, learn, and then come back to it again and be in a position where, like, okay, now I understand what I'm doing. Now I understand how to bring this to life the way that I know that it can be. So I'm just going to put in the work to make it come alive. And it's been a long journey. I would say at least 2 years now of putting some work into that and making it what I know it can be.
Seems to be well received. There's a lot of comments coming out about that. Oh Girl released,
Yeah.
and your music is really great stuff. How can we
Thank you.
find you? How can people find you online? Any of your music? If anyone want to source your music, how can they get to that or purchase your EP?
Well, my music is available on any and all platforms. So whether you use iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, it's available on there. If you want to add it to your Instagram stories, you can do that too. If you want to use it as background music on TikTok, it's available on there as well. And I believe it has been pushed to Snapchat because I believe Snapchat is incorporating music into their platform as well. So as of right now, it is available to be streamed, listened to anywhere and everywhere. And as far as social media, if you type in Nefertiti Gold, you'll see a girl with gold glasses and some bangs, and that's me right there. You'll probably see these gold lights in the background as well.
I think the next time we'd love to have you back on Pathway to Success, Nefertiti Gold, and you'll wear those gold rimmed glasses. You'll be all gold up, and you'll do several of your songs for us.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do that.
That'd be
That'd be
so
great.
inspirational. That would be so life changing, and that would really inspire so many young artists that is coming on, that's rising up to look on you as a role model and to get in contact with you. What I like about you, you're goal oriented, you're determined, you're very creative, you're
Thank
very
you.
you're very smart, very intelligent. You know what you're all about,
Yeah.
and so you are a winner. I like that. Fertiti Gold.
Nefertiti. Yeah, you got it. It's
I
there.
got it right. Fertiti Gold,
Yeah.
singer, songwriter, producer. We want to thank you so much, Fertiti Gold, for sharing your inspirational stories, and we wish you
Thank
all
you.
the best
Thank you so
in
much.
your music moving forward. I believe that one of your music will be on one of the movie tracks, several movie tracks also. Because of how inspirational you are, how you write well, and how you perform your music. And again, in closing, I want to say this again. We want to also give our condolences to the people of Haiti.
Thank you.
They had such a devastating earthquake that has rocked the nation. Several lives have been lost. And our prayers and our hearts are with the people of Haiti. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for joining us this week on Pathway to Success. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too.